explain to us like what is wave one, what is wave two, and now we are entering to wave three, what that is and what that mean to normal people like me and the people who are listening to this podcast.
So I would say wave the first wave was pretty much people woke up and realized, oh my God, two computers can talk to each other, right? That was the internet, and that was pretty much it, right? So it was the era of having static website. So anybody who had a site that has any visitors, that became a company, right? So back in old days, right? Yahoo, Excite, Lycos, those were the big companies because they were destinations with visitors, right? So that was first wave, and you know, there was really Web 2.0 actually came where people actually realized internet's more than just pages. They can actually create interactivity. They can actually create business logic on it. So that was the wave of Web 2.0, as you call it. So Messenger, in a way, you can say it's not really an internet based page. It is more of an internet based app, right? So that was the wave of Web 2.0. And Web 2.0. Yeah. So the I think the main distinction between Web 1.0 and 2.0 was like Web 2.0 was interactive, like you can actually do things with it. That was the time for all the apps and everything that came into play. Now, Web 2.0 stayed for a very long time. And the way to think about it, it has all the interactivity, but the user experience was very flat. And it was also controlled by the central nodes per se, right? Um, then came then there came like a few different things happen. So first came the decentralized movement in blockchain and crypto, right? They that the blockchain movement came more from the financial aspect of it. People were creating decentralized finance systems, so to create an alternate way of kind of going around centralized control, right? That's how it started on this. And then there was another movement that was happening in parallel, which was the gaming movement, right? So the gaming companies, they were creating social games, and social games where you would actually interact with people, right? You will and interaction was very like rich in experience, right? And from that it moved to AR, VR, and all that kind of stuff, right? And then Web3 actually combine these two things. They combine the decentralized aspect of everything from a centralized thing, and then it merged the experience layer on top of it. So the way to think about it is, you would think a Web 2.0 is a flat page. It's a site. It can have all kinds of stuff, and Web 3.0 will have decentralized, but it will have a rich experience. It is experience driven world. So, and that is not completely defined yet, right? What does that mean? How would that experience look like for everyday people? All those things are being defined now, right? So it is the birth of new internet. So Web 3 is more like Web 1.0 in a way, because like everything is being redefined and reimagined. Oh, I think we should be very excited because it is a chance for not only do really amazing things of experience that Web 2.0 really could not do. It is also a chance for us to do things right. It is also a chance for us to do things better, right? We're not jumping into this thing without without having the knowledge of how it played out in the past. so we can do this thing better. Also, another way of really think about it, if you look at the first, internet and web 2.0, everything, they are very western centric. They had happened in Silicon Valley, it happened in the US mostly. Web3 is not. Web3 is extremely distributed. They are from everywhere. There are great things happening in India. We have, couple of companies that are in India right now, and it's happening all over the globe. So it is a truly a decentralized phenomenon where the global audience, like entrepreneurs like you and I from different parts of the world, are equally participating. So that is very exciting.
Is it right to assume that Web 3.0 is going to put uh, power back to people's hand, where Zuckerbergs of the world are not going to control your data?
That is definitely the promise of Web3. Yes. So, but it's not going to happen in one shot,
Yeah.
right? A truly decentralized actually needs a centralized governance, right,
Mm.
to
Yeah.
happen. So it's going to take some time to kind of get there. But with that said, though, there's that is definitely the thing behind Web3, where people really do not like any, like one company or one entity to control all aspects of your life.
Mm.
And they want transparency, they want fair participation, they want, you know open APIs, they want other people to have a kind of fair play in that. So yes, so all of those things you will see come into play in Web3. But again, just keep in mind, the Facebooks of the world, they are equally participating in that. So they
Mm.
will have their version of that. They
Yeah.
are not kind of go away, but probably they will enter this space, or they are already entering the space bit differently.
Mm.
For Facebook's Meta's perspective, I think it is a repeat of what they have already done before.
Hmm.
But other people are kind of entering this space also in a slightly different way.
So you've said, Web3 is being built and people are still trying to develop their understanding of what this is going to be and how this is going to unfold, right? It's being written as we are, as we are having this conversation now. And, Web3, blockchain technology, and also, NFTs, and Metaverse, right? So these are the all things that are coming up, right? So for like maybe the lot of people who are listening to this, right? Either they're entrepreneurs or people who are working their job. How will their life change with Metaverse? The Is Metaverse going to change the way they do meetings, or is Metaverse going to change the way these businesses are running their business? How that will like change, and maybe maybe we are talking about 3 4 5 years down the line, like how that's going to sort of unfold. Where do you see this going?
So I think you will see three kinds of like movements that's going to happen, maybe more, but three that comes to my mind. First, you will see a lot of confusions. People are gonna claim anything and everything that moves that is Web3, right? Even there is like a lot of people call it Web 3.0 versus Web3. It is the consensus of what really Web3 is will take some time, because everybody is jumping in for different reasons, right? And that started with Facebook changing the name of the company to Meta. And I think there are people kind of woke up and said, I don't know what it is, but I'm surely not going to miss it. So it started with a roar that everybody decided to kind of invest heavily, dive in, figure it out later. And that happened, I would say, last October, November timeframe, right? On this. Great. So that's the first movement. People are deciding what Web3 is and how that plays in the grand scheme of things. Metaverse is what every if metaverse, think about it, it's the destination, right? um Web3, think about, they're like your your HTTP protocol there, right? And NFTs, think about that's basically the building blocks. So everything in metaverse can potentially be an NFT, right? Now you will also see then a lot of companies, a lot of entrepreneurs will actually just take anything and make and call it an NFT and put it out there, right? If you look at the NFT marketplaces, OpenSea or any other places, you will see there are millions of NFTs that people are listing on this from all kinds of stuff. But if you really look at the market, people are not trading, buying, selling any one of those things. So that's a common thing. People think, hey, I can make my picture an NFT. Yes, you can, but nobody's gonna buy or sell it. So that's a human reason, right? If yours truly, I draw some paintings and put it up for an NFT and I say I should sell it like people, I will say no, because I'm not an artist. So but you will see a lot of those, right? And then you will see the final group, and this group, they are really looking at how to really reimagine or reinvent the core building blocks for what metaverse would need, and how do you do that. So there will be like a lot of, you know I call it, you know kind of factors or marketing factors that people will kind of shape. I saw companies, they're calling themselves like a metaverse something, but it's kind of like a website. They're adding some virtual looking pictures of it, and that's it. So those things, in my opinion, is not going to last for too long, because that's actually not, that's temporary, because people do not understand it, right? Just because a company is getting funded, that means absolutely nothing, right? um, then will be then you will see companies who are actually doing stuff. They will solve the hard problems, right? And then all of a sudden, probably, within a next year, you will see, when people are talking about a metaverse, you can actually build it. You can actually build it with the kind of same ease that you build a website with, right? So yeah, I see these things kind of taking shape in the next 12 to 18 months.
Wow. So you're essentially saying that we're going to have tools where if I would like to, I can build my own metaverse without knowing a single line of a code.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we have a company doing that, Firedrop. But it's not just that. So think about it this way, right? The early days, if you wanted to build a website, you needed to know how to do programming, you needed to do how to do hosting, how to do CDN, all of those things you needed to do. So, like I said, I can do this thing. So you have a website. Oh my God, that's a big deal, right? Then came the companies like, in Yahoo, we bought GeoCities early days, but that didn't really last. But then WordPress came, right? So you don't, now these days, you don't think about like, how do I build a website? Like, I just pick one of the tools. I pick what goes in there. Most of the sites, you will never actually go down to HTML level ever, right? So this, the same thing's going to happen in metaverse, where people say, I don't know, I just build it using a builder, and underlying code and everything else will be taken care of by the platform or the technology. Yes.
Just the way we call website as our internet home, then I would like my metaverse home. Like, I want to maybe create my own space. I want to, maybe the NFTs and the everything now, it's all going to make sense, right? So all the collectibles that I have, like for example, here in India, Amitabh Bachchan, recently uh, dropped his NFTs. And now let's say if I own Amitabh Bachchan's NFT, then I'm going to throw it on my, metaverse. And then, maybe
Yeah, I mean, metaverse is like, again, it's a way. I think the closest analogy is your Facebook page, right? Although it will not all look the same. Uh, uh, you will actually build your metaverse, but then you may put your metaverse into other metaverses. So it's like, think about it, it's a way of interconnected virtual worlds, right? So your world is connected with other worlds, and people may come to your metaverse directly, or they may come to your metaverse through other metaverses through portals, right? But regardless of how you think about it, everybody in the planet would want their own metaverse. It's just a matter of time.